Predecessor has just revealed a brand new story on their official website, and with it, our first real look at the upcoming hero, Eden. It's titled The End, The Last Stand of Axiune, and it's one of the most detailed lore drops we've ever gotten from MOBA. This story doesn't just introduce a new character, it opens a window into a lost civilization, a desperate final stand, and the origins of one of Predecessor's most mysterious heroes yet. The story begins in the ruins of a once grand kingdom called Axiune. Its throne room is in chaos, marble pillars shattered, statues broken, ancient banners turned to ash. Through the crumbling walls, monstrous creatures called the Zeth pour in, described as disfigured horrors covered in silver carapace and driven by insatiable hunger. The story then shifts underground, where surviving warriors flee through dark tunnels under the command of King Zoneth and his royal guard captain, Idira. This is our first introduction to the character who may possibly be Eden. They're on their way to an antechamber the king calls the Cradle, a vast underground chamber that is supposedly the origin of magic itself. When they finally reach it, Zoneth begins an ancient ritual. He plants his staff into the center of a ring of runes, channeling mana until the entire room comes alive with blue light. He has brought what remains of his royal guard here to create a weapon. I'm guessing something that will, at the very least, hold back the invading Zeth. But as the ritual unfolds, the Zeth break through as if they are aware what's occurring. Idira and the remaining soldiers fight valiantly to buy the king enough time to complete his ritual, but one by one, they are quickly overwhelmed until only Idira and the king remain. It seems the Zeth have succeeded, as they begin to swarm the king, and Idira, having had been bested by two Zeth, can only watch. But in what was an unexpected move for Ni, the king actually seems to have the power to match his status, as he sends them all flying with a blast of mana. Seemingly being forced to resort to using his abilities, he shuts off the only passageway in the antechamber, sealing himself in with Idira and the stunned Zeth, but also preventing any more of them from joining in the fight. It's refreshing to see a king that is actually powerful in more than just name and actually worth of his title despite his age. The king's ritual comes to an end as he channels his mana into his staff, transforming the weapon into a warm, glowing pyramid, which he hands over to Idira and commands her to take it to flee and protect their people. She doesn't want to leave, but he insists, and as she disappears into a hidden chamber, he stays behind to make his final stand against the fast-recovering Zeth, the definition of a true king. It's a powerful ending, but it still leaves us with the question, who or what is Eden? Now, the official Predecessor site describes Eden as an ancient warrior of Axiune who made the ultimate sacrifice. And naturally, the strongest theory we are left with is that Idira and Eden are one and the same. Most likely, Idira was transformed by the pyramid weapon's radiant energy into the being we'll soon know as Eden. But there's another theory, one that's easy to overlook on a first read. According to the story, the last thing Idira saw before escaping was King Zoneth standing alone, fending off wave after wave of Zeth as they poured into the chamber. The narrative fades out there. We never actually see his death, nor do we see what became of the pyramid after Idira fled. So what if Eden isn't Idira at all? What if the king succeeded in protecting the cradle and Idira long enough for his own transformation to occur? The official description, an ancient warrior who made the ultimate sacrifice, could just as easily fit Zoneth. He's the one who gave everything to protect Axiune's last hope, channeling unimaginable mana directly through his body. The ritual was incomplete when the Zeth broke in and swarmed him. It's possible the magic partially fused with him instead of fully into the artifact. In that case, the hero we'll meet as Eden could actually be Zoneth reborn, the last guardian of Idira and the pyramid, eternally bound to defend what remains of his kingdom. It's a stretch, yes, but it fits hauntingly well with how Predecessor loves to weave layers into his lore. They did the same for Rena before giving us Acheron, didn't they? Still, whether Eden is Idira reborn through the pyramid weapon, or Zoneth himself transformed by it, both theories circle the same core truth. Eden represents the end of Axiune and the survival of his magic through sacrifice. Switching back to our original theory for a second, the story doesn't just give us insight into who Idira was, it also gives us clues about how she fought. There are several references to her weapons. We're told that she crossed her arms in front of her chest as twin claws of light materialized around her hands. That tells us a lot. These weren't forged weapons, but manifestations of mana, summoned directly through her body. Later it says her weapons dissipated as she flew through the air. While this probably won't translate into her gameplay, it shows us that her weapons exist while she's channeling a level of focus, magical constructs rather than metal blades. She uses them in close combat, slicing through joints, piercing weak points, fighting with fluid, lethal precision. From all of that, we can safely theorize that Idira and Pentansley Eden may be a hero utilizing short-range, magical-based weapons, or even a hybrid between melee and magical range combat. Imagine something like claws or energy blades. To further support this, there's Axiune itself. It's described as a kingdom filled with gold, art, and history, but deep underground, the cradle is described as the birthplace of magic. That would make Axiune one of the oldest civilizations in Predecessor's lore, and while it's not confirmed, it's very possible that Axiune's downfall is what set the stage for the magical knowledge we see used across the game today, by heroes like Countess, Aurora, Gideon, etc. But Omeda left us with a lot to wonder about, as that's everything we know so far about Eden. The last light of Axiune, a warrior forged in magic, and possibly the living embodiment of the cradle's power itself. What do you guys think? Predecessor has an impressive narrative, and there are plenty of stories around the heroes and their origins, but this is definitely the oldest one we have yet. We should be given more soon enough, but I want to hear your guys' theories in the comments below while we can. Thanks for watching as always. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.